Good morning, everyone. I want to spend this morning talking to you about uncertainty that which you will face in life. And certainly we all face uncertainties, do we not? Just the other day, I was in a yard with my son, and my son, he was playing with my daughter. And for some reason, and I didn't see it, but he fell down onto the ground and hit his head really, really hard. And we were uncertain about how he is going to feel later on during the day, and it actually happened pretty close to nighttime, and we kept him up for a while, and just to make sure that there was no concussion or he wasn't feeling wobbly or anything. And we even woke him up in the middle of the night just to ask him what his name was, and making sure that he was okay. We were very, very worried. We were very, very scared that he had hurt himself badly inside his head that we cannot see. And certainly it reminds me, and in that situation, reminds our family that raising a child is very uncertain. It's there's a lot of uncertainty in raising children because we just don't know what kind of trouble they can get themselves into. I think about the situation that we're in today in regard to COVID-19 and the virus, and many of us are locked down at home, and it's easy for us to feel uncertain about the situation. I just read a couple of days ago regarding CDC and the projected outcome, about 100,000 to 200,000 people will die because of this virus. And that's just projection. And they're working with probabilities, and they're working with projections and possibilities. But I'm reading through the Word of God. I'm kind of thinking through, what does God say about probability? And does God actually work with probability? One passage that's helpful is in Psalm chapter 139, verse 16. It says, "Your eyes saw my unformed substance. In your books were written, every one of them, the days that were formed for me, when as yet there was none of them." That's helpful. That's saying that even before we were born, even before any kind of situation happened in our lives that would threaten us, God had already determined how many days we're going to live and what our days are going to be like. And then another helpful passage is in Matthew chapter 10. It says in verse 29, are not two sparrows sold for a penny, and not one of them will fall to the ground apart from your Father. So from this passage, God is saying He actually orchestrates every single incident in the Bible, in the world, sparrows' lives, and your life is far more precious than a sparrow. Every dice that falls, God says that every lot that is cast, the result are in His hands. And so, in this time, even though we can look at the news, we can look at probabilities and projections, but there's one thing that is certain. The world is presenting to us a lot of uncertainties, but we know that the Word of God is certain. God is certain. This book has carried through thousands of years, plagues, diseases, and yet has never changed. So this time will pass, but God will never change. Let's place our faith upon Him.